Imagine if leadership and development was a uniting factor for people towards a certain achievement. When people set aside their political differences and affront a cause that will benefit everyone.
What does omuntu wa wansi see as development in it?
Buza meya achegana. Tauni kiraka achegana.
Who is the problem now?
Ensonga ene ejja kuggwa.
That is politics.
Era tulina kyakulya n'ekya tekigenda kubaawo.
Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. as we discuss matters in Entebbe, the first Uganda's colonial capital, and what it deserves. Well, thank you so much for joining us once again this beautiful Saturday, the 19th of October 2024. Quite an intense moment for Entebbe, quite calm. The weather is calm. It's all, of course, what has been trending through the week, and it's what we come here to do. My name is Kamara Ivan Walnyol, and I'm your host once again here at the Media Lab. Those joining us online, Entebbe Post, Kumba Times, Media Lab, we really thank you so much every time we come to discuss something and you become part and parcel of it. This morning, we'll be discussing a diverse range of topics that have been trending in the country. We know our friends in Kenya still have that ambience after the impeachment of the deputy president. Also happening here in Uganda, we know very well that the executive director for KCCA, former, also his deputy, and let me stop there. But of course, yet I think to answer for what happened in Kitezi. Also in Entebbe happening a lot, but we'll be discussing that just in a moment. But to just run through the panel quickly, on my immediate right, I have Lawrence Mushabe, who is next media correspondent for Entebbe. Lawrence, really so happy to have you on the show, and good morning.
Good morning to you, Ivan. Thank you so much for hosting me again. I'm glad to be here as we discuss matters that will benefit the audience.
Okay, on the other side, I have Nixon Twesige. He's a social influencer. This guy comments almost on everything. I don't know whether you want to be everything for one, but thank you so much to have you, Nixon Twesige, on this panel.
Much obliged, Mr. Ivan. It's always a pleasure being a part of this.
Okay, immediate left is Hannington Mutabazi, who is a journalist with the New Vision. And glad to have you, Hannington. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I like the voice. I like the
and of course, I'm making my debut on this show. So hopefully everything that we're going to discuss here is going to be impactful and wonderful.
Okay, I'll take your status, Lawrence. What's your status for the week? What has been going through the week? I think that's an eye catch for you. Just in seconds.
Thank you so much, Ivan. Once again, I want to welcome all the viewers, and I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
I know, of course, we started the week on a very, I think, a sad note with the loss of our, on the side of the Anglican Church, the loss of the Bishop Emeritus, yes. Balagade. And it's still a sorry mood to all the believers. Yeah. But of course, on the side of politics, also Kenya, it's been hitting all around.
I loved the debate.
The steps that they took to impeach him until yesterday. It was also hard to impeach someone who is admitted in the hospital. It was quite...
What about if that was a trick? Anyway, Nixon, what's your status for the week?
Well, the pickups, we could talk about the open day for the zoo. Sorry mood in Entebbe.
You also aligned with
the Meltas.
Yeah.
Bishop.
Okay, Huntington, your status for the week?
Actually, for my week, it has been quite slow. But I think what if we can look at as Ugandans is the KCCA executives who have been tossed here and there to the prisons. Their homes are being searched, and right at the moment.
Yes, you'll have to use your
and right at the moment they are in the prison. So that tells you how much you can fall from grace back to grass.
Okay. I want to quickly run through. We know very well that there was a merger which was happening after government initiated a move to merge all its institutions, and as we speak now, UWEC is under UWA. And maybe Lawrence, for you, has been covering UWEC. I think you've seen some transformations that have been going now. The head of the former executive director for UWEC, is now a director in UWA, in charge of community conservation. But now the head of education was there, that is Mr. David Musingo, is now the chief warden. But quickly, I want you to take us through this. What do you think this means? Do you think the UWEC we have known in the past will remain the same, or you think some other things will change because they have also now taken over the botanical gardens officially?
Thank you so much, Ivan. I think specifically speaking about UWEC, we want to first of all congratulate the two gentlemen who have been at the helm of the Wildlife Education Center. For the last good years we've covered UWEC, we've really seen what has been able to be transformed. We've really seen UWEC growing from the around 2015. We saw the estimate of around 300 something visitors coming in, but approximately by 2024 we've seen over 600 visitors that come at UWEC. That's a very big step. And we also hope maybe as they head into, as the ED, the former ED, Musingus, as he heads to UWA, we hope, because he's one of the good gentlemen that we had at UWEC with the transformative ideas, developing ideas, and we hope he's going to do the best the other side. And also, the duo teams, because they came together to work with
18 years. That's Dr. James Musingo and Mr. David Musingo.
Yes. He's also been good, and we hope UWEC will proceed, transforming, growing, and it will be at a better stage.
Actually, I was there, I think, 4 days ago. And much interesting to see that some of the developments, they have a new elephant holding. They have a new aviary, which is being constructed. There is also the wild dog, it's called wild dog what? Something that also the holding is being completed. But all this kind of...
One of the significant moves that we saw that made us, believe these two guys were making good of your work was during the time of COVID-19. See, these guys were down. Every day those animals that had the wildlife animals had to feed on different stuff, of which UWEC was grappling with finances due to COVID. And we saw...
So that was a test of their strength.
Absolutely.
I think Annington, you've closely been following the story, but I want you to just give your remarks on what you think the transformation or the merger that you have seen UWEC now be under UWA. It's now just, I can say, it's an arm of UWA, now managed by a chief warden, who is David Musingo. Yes.
Yeah, you see, the independence of UWEC Zoo, many of us actually visited it when we were little. To see the animals, to enjoy the serene environment, and of course learn something, one or two things about wildlife. 72 years later, it's normal. Of course, it gives you mixed feelings. Why wouldn't it remain independent? Why should they merge it? But of course, there are also very many reasons. And you see, in Uganda, keep on talking about wastage of funds. Like very many things doing almost the same thing. But if this come together, because now I was looking here, the budget of UWEC from last year was around 23.6 billion. You get it? It had drastically moved from around how much?
Actually, I was also getting some facts here that in the recent past, they were able to get 615,000 tourists that were going there. And from that, the last financial year, they were able to collect 5.2 billion shillings from the initial, which was, I think, 3.2. That's about 3 years ago. And they're projecting that with the increment, I think you've seen how they have increased the entry fees nowadays from children from 5, I think, to 10 or 8, around there. Then also the adults, I think, are paying 20.
Yeah.
So they're projecting that this financial year, they will be raising 10.4 billion shillings.
Yeah, exactly. My point. You see, these two, the UWA and UWEC almost do the same thing, and coexisting independently, somehow, there is wastage of resources. But when they merge them together, however, with a clear mandate, like even when we are together, there is a clear mandate for UWA and for UWEC to do. Like for example, you've said they are increasing the fees to access the place, and there is a particular budget and particular monies that are supposed to collect towards the UWA budget. Now this here it's going to be easy to cater for UWEC and perhaps for the better. There are very many other projects. If you heard Musinguzi's speech when he was speaking during the handover, there were lots of other projects they wanted. For example, a floating restaurant. They wanted to also start up other branches, UWEC branches in other districts.
Regional zoos.
So
yes.
maybe there's a possibility
zoos,
that
they
when
call it.
they've joined with this merger, there will be a possibility that maybe these things will be able to be, enforced. So yeah. Let us look.
Nixon, your take on UWEC's merger with UWA?
Well, in the first place, I have a whole
Get your microphone close to you.
In the first place, I have a challenge with the rationalization of the different agencies, MDs. That is to say, there are those agencies that have been profitable, operating in a profitable way. In the case of the zoo, whereas there's been progress, we can say it's not been profitable, because if you are earning over 5 billion, but your operational cost at 23, then there is a whole challenge. That's not maximum efficiency. But that said, we can as well take in mind the different logistics, or how much progress has been made, let's say from the 2016 to where we are from the 3.2 non-tax revenue to the 10. Good commendable work has been made, and in my case I would say that I would in the first place object to the merger. But why it has come, one of the men or the team that has been at the helm of this transformation, I still have hope that there will be progress. But I doubt, it's questionable for me, that at the rate the progress was being made is going to be the same.
Okay, but also understand, you see, what I understand, Huntington and Lawrence, is, you see, UWEC is just a summary of Uganda's wildlife, If you do not have time to go to all the game parks, look at those animals. It's a summary. That's why I think it was a good move that every time we have diplomats come to the country, last time you saw the speakers.
Oh, yes.
They have to go and look at the animals outside.
Oh, yes.
And recently you saw also the judges that had the conference in Munyunya. They have to go at least and look at the animals there. But now I think we're looking at now tourism in a broader perspective. That somebody doesn't have to go to all the game parks, Makshon, Queen Elizabeth and the rest, but you can just go to the zoo, look at the lions. You can go to a game park and you're missing a lion. But here you can see. But away from that, of course, we also understand that there have been a lot of changes, especially with the public service. Also, I'm told some people have lost their jobs. Yeah, people have lost their jobs because they had to do a re-evaluation. So a lot of people have lost jobs in this merger because you realize what they've been doing at work. There is a staff or there are other people have been in UWA and they can do it. So I don't want to say that is bad or that is good, but we leave it hanging at that side. But also we now talk about the botanical gardens. These people have officially, away from when the Prime Minister came and handed over last time, of course, they gave them a process of preparing the official handover and take over, maybe from the entrance and the maintenance inside there, the botanical gardens. Now, what has happened from the sources I've got, of course, they have had to shut down one of the entry gates to the botanical gardens, and they're centralizing the entry to one gate. They have done away with cash payments. You only have to use mobile money, use your visa, and the rest. Also, I have been reliably informed that the UWA guards have now taken over the entire botanical gardens and their guardian.
Botanical gardens in the past were kind of insecure.
Actually,
I like the whole of that.
I don't know if I was with the Lawrence that day or not. We were just driving out of it. They say a young guy just runs behind, they can't snatch his phone. That was very bad for me. But I've been told that now that is now being managed, of course. But also making sure that you centralize the entry you are sieving out some of the people who would be thieves inside there, use different panya entries to go and terrorize people in there. The botanical gardens has potential, if I can put it right, that people have weddings, you have your introduction, maybe functions and what. It's quite big for somebody to hold it there. But I think it's been a threat, given the insecurity that was going there. I don't know what you say about that, Huntington. You've been there yourself.
Yeah, like I said, this is a plus for all of us. Having the botanical gardens a secure place. Then when you would go there, you see a place that is beautiful, green, you would enjoy being there, but at your own risk, because it's not secure, and whatever happens to you, there is no one is answerable. But the fact that we're having a botanical gardens that has some of the oldest trees, and it's part of our biodiversity. It's a good thing for it to be protected, so that all Ugandans can have it, can feel it. We can have picnics and enjoy from it. So yeah.
Your take on that, Mushabe?
But even before we get onto the botanical gardens, I hope and pray we shouldn't leave that aspect not talked about in terms of what is being alleged at UWEC, because you've talked about the loss of jobs to many people have been working there. Recently, I also heard that the internship wasn't allowed. The students were no longer going there for internship. It was halted a little bit. So I think as they were planning the rationalization and the merger of the entity, there was supposed to be initially something, in terms of policy making, to sit down and see how people there, the beneficiaries, the workers, whatever, they shouldn't have been affected.
That was the public service now taking over, doing the re-evaluation of and the validation of people's qualifications, and it was purely done
also,
by public service.
I think when it comes to change, change is brutal. Like sometimes it's not going to wait for you. It just happens, and yeah, it happens. Of course, very many people are going to lose their jobs, but this is a new thing, and some other people are also going to get opportunities. You get it? So it happens, and sometimes we just have to live with it.
Very true, very true. But then the person who has been, looking after their families and whatever.
I think we will not go into that, because the fact is, even if you have been surviving there and you have no qualification, we will not be judges in this matter. I think let's leave it to public service that did what it did. Of course, every change and development comes with its own negative and positive, effects and the rest. So I think we'll leave it there. Do you have anything to say, Nixon, maybe before we go for a quick commercial break?
Well, I like the plus that about botanical gardens, the takeover. We can be sure that the question of insecurity and then the collections are streamlined in that sense. Since no cash is being paid, everything is online. There will be some little bit of transparency, and maybe we can. And
actually, I'm told they are initiating a move where you can even buy a single ticket, go to the zoo, and also access the botanical gardens.
That is
I'm told, 3 categories of permits are going to be introduced. You can either buy one to go to UWEC, buy one to go to the garden, but you can also buy a single one which will be discounted, that you can go to the zoo, and after the zoo you also go to UWEC. That one is a new development that I can. Well, of course, the conversation is still continuing, but now I want us to take a very quick commercial break, but also being appreciative to you people watching and following us online, Entebbe Post, Media Lab, and also Nkumba Times. Really appreciate much for that. But now, the show will take a very quick commercial break and return shortly after this.
Welcome, traveler, to the adventure of a lifetime. Rare, beautiful, and precious. Embrace the unique, unforgettable, and extraordinary. Come and explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Entebbe, the land of freshness, fresh breeze, fresh water, fresh weather, and fresh foods. Entebbe is not just the gateway to Uganda, but also fresh foods supplied from 81 Sese Islands in Lake Victoria. Fresh foods from the garden to Chitoro Market and straight to your home. Visit Chitoro Market in Entebbe, Uganda's first capital for all your fresh foods.
We'll be back from that commercial break. Before we came back on the show, you were saying something that
we hope the permits do not be like the other
the windy permits, which permits?
It is intriguing to always think negative about it. But well, we want to welcome you back to the show. Of course, it's been that commercial break. But I think now another thing we'll have to switch to people is that Entebbe has long overdue been yearning to have sports as part of their docket for recreation.
Oh, yes.
Now, UPPC, Uganda Printing and Publishing Corporation, has taken over Gaddafi FC. It's now UPPC. Although they're still trading with the name, but I'm told it will have to transform. You know, in football, you don't have to just buy a team and rebrand it. But now, though it has Gaddafi, but we call it UPPC because it's now a home team, and their home ground is now Wax. As we speak now, the stadium has been fenced, the dressing room modified, and it's looking very pretty under the care of the Messiah, Coach Alan Kabonge. Kabonge, for people who do not know Kabonge, he has promoted 5 teams to Uganda Premier League. He's the one who promoted Onduparaka. He promoted Chetume, Paida Black Angels, Masavu, but he had never been chanced to coach in the Premier League because he didn't have qualifications then. Thanks to FUFA, he went back, and I think he's now CAF B license holder, but he's now with UPPC. You love football. What is your take on this?
Yeah, it's always good for us football fans, and the weekend is
First of all, have you bought a jersey for UPPC? It's nice. It looks for like for Uganda Cranes.
Yeah, we are going to look for those jerseys. First of
but
all,
also before we go into this, I want to let me I want to say this straight to UPPC, especially my good friend Becky. The people who should have bought and got those jerseys first should be the journalists in Entebbe, because they should first love the team and tell them how good it is before anybody else can buy that jersey. So we are kindly asking you that we need those jerseys, and we need them, You either bring or you bring. No, don't. But let me also pick your take, Lawrence. We now have a football team. I love the fact yesterday, but I went to their training. I enjoyed their training. By the way, they also sit top on the log. Yeah, they have 4 points after playing to a draw, and then also the recent win against Kigezi Homeboys. So they sit top on the logo. But your take on this?
Ivan, it's a very good achievement to UPPC as an entity, but not only UPPC, as to also Entebbe as a municipality that's soon turning into a city. One of the symbolic, I think, aspects to a place like Entebbe, which is soon becoming a city next year, if it all happens, it is to have such a sports team that we know that is
that identifies with the people.
Absolutely. We've seen Barara City, we've seen Onduparaka, hyping up the northern. So it is a very great move to Entebbe, to also UPPC. The only question or challenge now remains with UPPC to see how, because we've seen many teams coming up and then, they fade off, they phase off. So we need to see at the aspect of management, how the team is going to be, managed to make sure that
how can it be owned by the people in Entebbe, the border riders and everybody else. When the team is playing, they have to go watch the game. But also away from that, I was also thinking that I think there is something that needs to be done, that the corporate companies in Entebbe, we've seen. I'm very happy. Thank you so much, AGR. Last time they were sponsoring Masav FC. You had the AGR logo. So this time also UPPC can lobby to have corporate companies. For example, we in Entebbe, why don't we have Civil Aviation, Uganda Airlines? Yes, you have maybe UWEC. Those who can give the little, even if these young boys are playing, somebody gives them a carton of water, and also other corporate organizations. This is how we socialize away from politics, away from that. Everybody will go and watch that game. I was speaking to the mayor. Mayor was telling me that the background move to give them that ground to host their games wasn't easy as well. But thanks to him that he says he talked to a number of stakeholders, because initially that he said the pitch had been sold and they were given that pitch. He has also told me that one of these days he wants to mobilize his people at the municipal council to go and buy jerseys from UPPC. And he also says when it's playing a home game, he wants to still mobilize his people, the town clerk and the rest of other councillors to also go and witness the match.
There is nothing that should stop UPPC's team from, getting at the top of other teams. We can even win a title. You go and have a dinner with the president inside there.
I think that
maybe I would want to pass a point. You see, ours is to emotionally get attached to the team. When it comes, for example, to the Premier League, ours is to get emotionally attached to it. However, we don't have control on how the team is managed. The management of this team, and if they are listening, they should know that the team mostly derives on support from the locals. But if it isolates itself because it's a corporate team and it has the funds, then sometimes it crumbles because it doesn't have the roots to support it when it's in terms of funds. So we shall be there emotionally to support them. We shall try to go watch their trainings, to go and watch the games. But how will this team reciprocate it? Will they support the funds? Will they be there to feel like every single person is part of this team? Before the corporate companies come in to give you the money,
yes.
The person, the border guy, like you said, the guy in the market wants to feel like they have a part.
They're the ones who will cheer up the team when
they have the stake in this team. Now, one thing you should know about Ugandan football, apart from the money, apart from being able to finance everything, because I'm a corporate company, maybe I have corporate sponsors and I have lots of money, it's how you're going to manage this team. Lots of teams have come up, they've been hyped, and then they've gone back, and then after they have died, just like Masavu came, there was hype and everyone wanted to associate with it, even the local person. But management is going to be very key. And management, two things: management and how it's going to associate with the local person on the ground. That's what is going to make it successful.
To even supplement on what my colleague is saying, I've been closely following what is happening at Chitara FC in terms of ticketing, in terms of managing funds, and I do not want to disclose how now the public, the people back in Hoima, they are perceiving the image of Chitara FC. So these teams that are now coming up, they should really be keen on how to manage the team and the public.
Last time I was there when it was playing its home game against Kigez Boys. When they won, people were paying for entry. Though there were not too many, but that was a plus, I think, for starters.
In my case, I normally look at such an event, or since we are having one of our own, UPPC, I would in fact rally all Entebbe residents to be in support of UPPC, because this is one of our very own. But then businesses that are built around such, how much money is going to come to Entebbe because we are having a team, one of our very own?
What about if we organize one day and we go to our neighbor up on the hill, and we tell him that here we come. With bare hands, but I'm told you we can get some basket from there.
Yeah, it's possible. Like I said, how we strategize.
And we invite him to also come and watch one of the games.
It's all possible.
I'm sure it will be a mess.
It's all possible.
It would be a mess.
Instead, the SFC will watch. Yes. But it would be a good move one time. Like one time we invite the president to come and watch a home game. He's a neighbor.
It's the kind of motivation that we want. Yes. I told you, recently I had my team, Mkumba University, heading to the university All African Games in Nigeria. And the boys, the beach boys were, hyped. They were motivated. Each goal, I think it was being paid around 500. Winning the title had the minimum, it had something, the package of itself, which was very okay. So we have very many people in Entebbe here, including they can come out and say, you people, UPPC,
you're my neighbors,
when you win the title,
big league, yes.
I can even...
Actually, Coach Alan Kabongo was saying that one thing you can never do to empower players when you promise them. Last time I think President Kagame promised his under-20 team that when you win the title, each one of you will have to get a car and I think some money. How do you see that, Darlington? You tell every time you score a goal, I have this and this for you.
Yeah, like you see, even in the Premier League, some of us who follow the Premier League, there are always match bonuses. If you score a goal, you assist, or if the team wins, there are always match bonuses, and this is how you motivate people.
Okay, gentlemen, I've been informed we are running out of time, but also I want to. What's your summary of this whole week? What summarizes your week, as maybe in 15 seconds?
Of course, we now await to see what transpires after the arrest of the KCCA officials, the former KCCA officials. We really want to see what could be, because we've seen very many people getting arrested and what after they are left to go, and we enjoy with them in the community. So we wait to see what comes out, as we also see what is transpiring in Kenya. It is a very sad mood.
What is summarizing your week in maybe 15 seconds?
We have 19 days to see Trump at the helm in the US. When you come back here home, we are seeing the transformation that is happening at KCCA. And let's see how UPPC pulls it off.
And what is summarizing your week?
Yeah, in 30 seconds or more. First, what you've said, Trump will come with doom. That's a topic of another.
Oh no,
That's
no.
a topic of another.
We are
No,
sure Kamara is coming with World War III.
He's done talking.
Yeah, Trump will come with doom. KCCA is far from getting organized. It's so disorganized.
I like the new leader for KCCA.
You like
I hope
those are personal feelings, but it's far from getting organized.
That's away from
These
personal
are my personal
feelings.
feelings, really. From this week, my takeaway is going to be rounded around the KCCA executives. And of course, to your viewers, so life is more of a movie. It has a beginning, and you choose to be a villain or you choose to be the star in the movie. But if you choose to be a villain and you do things because of your paymaster or how you feel they're supposed to be done, sometimes things may never end up very well. So
it would be a disservice, but it would be a disservice for me not to talk about the leadership at ULS. I mean, the AG and the SC being expelled away. I mean, there's a whole show that should be taking place for us to put into context.
But Ivan, my last question.
We've run out of time, please.
2 months back, Mayor of Entebbe stopped people from dumping garbage in Nkumba. Later on, the Mayor of Katabi Town Council stopped the garbage from being dumped in Nkumba. They stopped everyone. Garbage in Nkumba is getting to another level. Who is Home Kirin?
I'm told there is a big fish.
Who is Nabugabo?
Okay. Gentlemen and ladies, we've had to leave the conversation here, but I want to thank you so much. Those of you who have been following us online, both the Media Lab and Kumba Times, Entebbe Post. I want to thank you for your spare time to also watch this. In case you feel there is something we've left out, just go to the comment section, drop your comment there. Let us know what you want us to talk about next time. I also want to thank a few people. It's a weekend. A weekend in Entebbe. A weekend in Entebbe means a lot. You can go to the beach, you can go to UWEC, you can go where. But my chill out that I want to invite, I emphasize to invite people is at the Login Lodge along Garuga Road.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we have had to leave the conversation here. Please stay safe. Bye for now. Imagine if leadership and development was a uniting factor for people towards a certain achievement. When people set aside their political differences and affront a cause that will benefit everyone.
What does omuntu wa wansi see as development in Entebbe?
Buza meya achegana. Tauni kiraka achegana.
Who is the problem now?
Ensonga ene ejja kuggwa.
That is politics. Era tulina kyakulya n'ekya tekigenda kubaawo.
Ate ne President Museveni bannanga akyali baby.
Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. as we discuss matters in Entebbe, the first Uganda's colonial capital and what it deserves.